Greetings, Fright Nights and Monster Girls. I'm Count Jackula.
And I'm the horror guru.
And we just saw Pet Sematary.
The second adaptation of Pet Sematary.
Yeah, done by the guys who directed Starry Eyes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
For those of you who don't know, this is a story about a guy whose cat gets killed, whose kid gets killed, and then he buries them in a pet cemetery out in the fucking woods that brings them back to life, and bad things happen.
Pretty much.
Really bad things happen.
In a nutshell, you know, when you mess with otherworldly forces, it's not a good idea.
No, it's a really bad idea. And in the pantheon of Stephen King remakes, I rank this one way above Carrie, but not as good as It.
Oh, definitely. I would agree with that. Like, I enjoyed it as a remake, but I would not put it up there with It, which was just a phenomenal improvement.
That was
in every way.
Everything that movie did worked.
Absolutely.
You know, now, with that said, there are some things that this movie did that were amazing. Unfortunately, that's all in spoilers.
Which we'll get to.
Which we'll get to. Like, a lot of the actual spoilers are the things that the movie did really fucking well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got all the elements that you expected to have. There's a dead kid, there's a dead cat, there's like an old guy who says, like, you know, dead is better, you know, like, except it's John Lithgow, so he doesn't have that accent.
Doesn't have the accent, but he was pretty good in the role.
Yeah, he was. He was. It's got a doctor dad who can't deal with death. It's got like a
huge improvement over the first movie. The actor playing the dad in this, you actually give a shit about. Whereas the actor in the first one has like zero emotion the entire time, and it's annoying.
I actually kind of like the dad from the first movie.
But he has like no emotion ever. His kid dies, he's just stoic. Like, it's really fucking annoying.
Yeah. Well, wait. Which one's which? Wait, which? Are you talking about the remake where the guy doesn't show emotion, or the original?
The original.
The original. Okay. I guess I'll have to go back and see it because I
watch
remember
it.
that
Like
guy.
Things happen, and he just stares off, and you're just like, emote, your kid just died. Like,
well, because I remember him screaming a lot.
Oh yeah, he screams no in the most laughable scene ever.
I think, well, that's definitely a problem because, oh God, I don't know how to say it. Fucking, all right, the remake of Wicker Man forever ruined truck accidents for me.
Yeah.
It's really hard to not laugh at them now.
That's one of the worst remakes ever. No, I don't mean the truck accident itself. I mean the way he screams no, like it's Darth Vader levels of bad.
I didn't think it was that bad, but okay. So, but one thing I did like about the truck accident in this, oh yeah, by the way, a kid gets hit by a truck, in case you didn't fucking know
That's gonna happen, yeah.
Yeah, that'll happen in a Pet Sematary movie. I did like the way that this one was filmed.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's one of those, everyone's like, any amount of actual gore you put in this was gonna be funny rather than horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I was really glad that they didn't do that, because I even kept examining the scene as it was happening, and I was like, all right, is there any point here where seeing any amount of blood wouldn't make me laugh? And I'm like, no, there wouldn't be. So it's really good they didn't do that.
That's probably you, though, because I would have been horrified if there was like a skid of blood under the car.
Yeah, that might have worked. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm like I said, man, like fucking Wicker Man remake.
Because if I were to give my one complaint about that truck scene is that there's no way her corpse would look that.
Now that I agree with. I thought that the corpse itself should have been a little more fucked up.
I was just like,
you know,
like later it looks fucked up when it's resurrected, but when it first gets hit, you're just like, oh, okay, she was hit by a fucking semi fucking thing.
Yeah. I thought we would. I didn't think that they were gonna give us like a whole like. But
well, yeah, I didn't think I had to go that far.
She's not even covered in blood.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, she wasn't even covered in blood, and that I thought was a problem, especially since Church was so gnarly.
Yeah, exactly.
The cat was so gnarly.
And hit by a similar truck. So.
Yeah, hit by the same type of truck. So it's like,
and she was hit straight on.
Yeah. Damn. So, and the other thing, with that said, every time that truck happened, it fucking surprises you.
I know. They do a good job
Yeah,
of I think they have it like twice before the actual eventual hit.
Yeah.
And I thought they set that up really well.
Yeah, because even though I had seen the shit in the trailer, like it happens in the movie, and I'm still like, god damn it, it got me again.
Especially the second time, because the first time in the trailer, first time you're kind of anticipating, but the second time it happens, you're like, oh shit, they did it again.
Yeah.
And sometimes if a jump scare gets you and you're like, oh man, you goddamn movie, and you're like actually happy about it, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of the other things I like is that motif of like things coming at you really fast is something that the movie does that keeps doing, and most of the time it does it extremely well. Like the rewriting of the story between Rachel and Zelda, uses that same kind of motif.
There's a lot of condensing with it, but I thought they did a good job with that because there's a lot in Pet Sematary. And if you don't condense shit, you're gonna be really confused.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in the original there were more moments that were plain creepy.
I disagree with that.
Okay.
Because I thought this movie was way creepier in tenfold than the original movie.
Oh, okay.
I never thought the original movie was creepy at all.
Okay, so I did. I actually thought the original one was pretty creepy. It was also goofy and weird, but I thought it was really, like, for some reason, the kid's voice in the original freaked me out.
The kid was hilarious. Oh no, I've been stabbed. I'm gonna walk around the corner. Oh my god, that kid ruined that movie for me. It was just like, the kid can't fucking act because he's 3.
Yeah, granted.
So he's just hilarious. He's not scary. He's not creepy. He's funny. And not creepy funny, just this is so bad funny.
Well,
so I think what this comes down to is how you felt about the original. Because I felt like this movie was a categorical improvement.
Yeah, I didn't feel that strongly. I didn't feel like it was a categorical improvement. I felt like it was better in a lot of ways and not as good in some. Well, so for me, this was a little middling. But the thing is, the things that I really liked about it were really good.
Fair enough, yeah.
But we can't really talk about that till we get to spoilers. So let's get to that. Let's get to the spoilers. Okay. The entire third act is rewritten.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They changed about halfway through. They make a major change, and then the third act they make a bunch of changes.
Yeah, like the major change in the middle is which kid gets killed.
Yes, which was already in the trailer. So
yeah, so that the girl gets killed, not Gage. So that was okay, but the thing that was really nice is that they actually carried that change through in the last third of the movie.
Yeah, it's actually baked into this version of the script.
Yeah, and I thought it was really good. Like everything about it. It's not like they just replaced Gage with a little girl. It's not that at all. They could have done just the same things, but they didn't. Yeah,
like the fucking ballerina scene was so fucking creepy. That was so fucking creepy.
Yeah, because the girl in this one, she wants to be a ballerina like all girls do, and when she's undead, she still does, but she's angry about it because she's possessed by an evil spirit.
Oh, absolutely. She's possessed by a Wendigo.
The Wendigo.
This one actually says Wendigo. The first one never did, and that always annoyed me.
Yeah. Oh, actually, something I wanted to check on you with. Linda said that they actually showed the Wendigo in a brief scene when he's looking off into the woods, but I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's there.
Okay. There's a problem in our screening, which is right around the time that scene is happening, the guy to my right, his phone went off.
Yeah.
And so I was like, the hell? And so I'm like, okay, back to the movie.
Yeah,
You know, so I think I missed it. All right, so I just wanted to double check.
You could see something in the shadows.
Okay, yeah, I didn't even see that. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I must
Which
have
the
missed
original
it.
movie had the noise, but it didn't have like the thing moving in the distance like
Right.
this one had.
Has the same line though.
It does. It
You know,
does.
balloon.
Yep.
So when the little girl comes back, because she's like an 8 or 9-year-old girl,
Mhm.
there's actually dialogue between her and the dad, and that sequence actually goes on for a bit, because really there are only two things that Gage in the original movie says, which is, I want to play with you.
Pretty much, yeah.
And no fair, you know. But in this one, she actually carries on a dialogue, and we get a little bit more into the corpse aspect. You know,
yeah.
like,
Well, the fact she was embalmed, so her
yeah,
things are wrong.
yeah, and then like her head had to be stapled
Yep.
back together, which was a great. Just that little hair with the fucking staples in it was great, which speaks to why didn't they just throw blood on her when you picked her up in the
if
first
she has
place?
that crack in her head, like I thought there should at least be like a little blood spewing around her corpse or something.
Yeah. Especially considering how gnarly some of the other effects were.
Oh,
It
yeah.
seemed like,
everything was Zelda.
yeah, some of it was super gnarly. You know,
It's fucked up.
you know, yeah. But so because of this, it, instead of having the dad make the same mistake 3 times.
Yes. Which I always thought was, I understood why, but I always thought was weird even in the book.
Yeah, it was weird even in the book, because you're sitting there and you're going like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
You know this is a bad idea. Fuck. So what they do instead here is he tries to kill the daughter, but the daughter has already buried the mom.
Yep.
And so the mom comes in, kills the dad, and then they both bury him.
Now, smartly, they cut around her actually, like, bringing the corpse up the fucking wooden thing, because I don't know how she would have done that.
Yeah, like, look, possessed by a Wendigo, she could just do shit.
I will say, okay, side note, this is the one criticism that I actually really had with the movie, is that the graveyard green screen was very
Oh
bad.
my God, yes.
The graveyard green screen
Are you
effects.
yeah, you're talking about like the actual,
Like when they got to the pet cemetery.
when they get to the actual like
Yeah.
where they have to bury church and all
Yeah,
that.
and there's like surrounded by this green screen
yeah,
effect and the
Yeah.
storm in the background. I'm like, this would look better if the
Oh.
green screening was done better, because this
Yeah,
is so
that's-
obviously a green screen.
the compositing really dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah.
And it felt really weird, because I'm like, it's the one shot where I was like, meanwhile, in a black lot in Burbank, California.
Exactly. Because up
You
until
know?
that point, it felt like it was authentically in the woods.
Yeah, you felt like you were actually there, and then it was like, we're somewhere over here now. On a
Now
back
we're in a
lot.
back lot. Yeah.
You know, it's like, did you have to refilm this or something?
I don't know. It felt something like it felt like that. Like
It
maybe we had to
did.
film it last minute or something.
It did. Because it felt real fake, and that was a little disappointing.
It's weird given how good most of the effects in the movie are.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like his dream sequence of like going through the door and then he's in the woods and stuff like that.
Yeah. That was all
cool.
great. That was all really cool. You know, I don't know. Yeah, there's some points where the movie drops the ball, but it's worth watching. It's really good, and just watching the way that third act happens.
That third act is great.
That third act is great, and I love the fact that they just decided to go with a smash cut.
Yeah, it's match gun ending.
Yeah, smash cut ending, and it was because
to the pet cemetery cover
to the
they
Pet
had.
Cemetery, to the Pet Cemetery theme, and I loved that because
Well, I like it.
It
It's
was-
a little bit more of a happier ending than the original.
it is
like
it
in a
is.
fucked up way.
Oh my God. So the mom, the dad, and this little sister are moving towards the car that has the little baby locked
Gage.
in it, baby Gage locked inside, because they locked him in before everything went to shit, you know? And they're coming towards him, and the baby's looking out. He's looking out the windshield, and then the cat jumps on the fucking car, so it's like a family portrait.
The whole family's together now. They just need you, Gage. You know?
Yeah,
Let's let go.
yeah. You know, and then they open the car door and smash cut to, you know. So that stuff was awesome. I really, really, really loved it.
Well, I also liked that the movie is very much aware that people have seen the first movie.
Yes.
Like the scene when she's going after Judd.
Yeah.
And like it's just like, oh, like in the other one he cuts them from underneath the bed, and so
Yeah.
like they play out that scene and you're like, oh shit, is it gonna happen? But then it doesn't happen. It happens a
It
different
happens
way.
on the stairs.
Now I wish they hadn't put that in the trailer.
Me too. Me too. Because I found myself going, but I know it happens on the stairs. Why did you put that in the trailer?
Exactly, yeah.
You know, there was no reason to put that in the trailer. You know, especially when you had all this other stuff you could use.
Especially if you're gonna play with it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Don't get that's giving away that's like, by the way, the cups and balls, like when you make the one ball turn to two balls, remember we're using a ball that splits in half, and you're like, dude.
Similar comment about the truck scene, because the truck scene is very much aware. If you watch the first one, this is how it played out in the first one until it doesn't.
Yeah, until it doesn't, which kind of made me go, why did you tell us in the trailer it was going to be the girl?
Yeah.
You should,
well, I could tell that was not the filmmaker's choice.
It didn't seem like
that
it.
was
no.
whoever fucking decided to cut the trailer together, the marketing team, because I guarantee if I directed this movie, I would not have wanted that stuff put in the trailer.
No.
I would have wanted everything you had in that first trailer, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, that's all you need.
Where it's just the stuff about the pet, about the kids and the pet cemetery.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all you fucking need.
And like a little cursory glance at the family. That's it.
Yeah. What else?
Well, that was actually the thing I like, is that the switch of making it the girl. What I really appreciated about that is that you actually give a shit about the girl.
Oh yeah.
You know nothing about that fucking kid because he's a kid.
Yeah.
In the first one. So like he dies, all you have is the like, oh, a kid died. But in this, you actually have a character that you've grown to know over the course of the story until she dies.
Yeah.
And actually have an emotional investment in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. In this one, in the original one, they kept it a little bit, they kept the relationship of the dad to the neighbor a little bit closer to the novel, which is there's definitely a kind of adopted father, adopted son kind of relationship going on. Yeah. There's not quite as much of that here, because what they do instead is that the girl is the one that brings the two households together.
Yeah, like he befriends the little girl.
Yeah, so when the girl dies, so when she dies, everything shatters immediately.
Well, because basically they had to come up with a way to have him care enough to do the Pet Cemetery thing.
Yeah.
Because they had condensed his backstory.
Yes.
And they had switched some things. Like in the original, another person had tried on their kid or their wife or whatever. Whereas in this one, he did it to his wife.
Yeah.
In the past.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they had to come up with some sort of emotional reason on top of the Wendigo calling to him.
Yeah.
To get him to actually do the Pet Cemetery thing in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, and in this one I did like the idea that they did play up the idea that the thing in the woods is actually calling to them. You know, that I thought was really good. It was really good to emphasize that part of it. Mm. You know, because in the first one, it is like, okay, so it's just the temptation to use the magical thing.
Yeah.
You know, but in this one, there's much more of a deliberate, like, oh no, it gets in your bones.
Well, what I like is that by having it actually called to them, it makes it a little bit more understandable why Judd tries it.
Yeah.
Like, because Judd knows.
Yeah.
Like, he knows that this is a bad idea. He's heard the stories. He's done it before. It's terrible. So him doing the cat makes no sense unless there is some extra forces at work, you know, pulling him.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that he cares about the little girl and her cat's dead and he wants the girl to have her cat, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be different this time because my dog was mean, you know?
Yeah. Yep. But overall, I definitely think that the movie is worth watching.
Definitely.
You know, I definitely think if someone's like, "Oh, that movie's a piece of shit," I was like, "No, it's not a piece of shit. It's not at all."
This is not like RoboCop remake.
No,
like this feels like it's doing its own thing while also trying to stay true to that book.
Yeah.
And sometimes only in spirit, because
because
doing it directly would be way too long.
Yeah. With that said, I did feel like we kind of went through those plot points at breakneck speed.
Oh yeah, we did.
Holy crap! There was definitely a moment where I was like, geez, movie, let me fucking breathe for a minute. You know, like I'll sit through another 20 minutes. Just give me a minute. Just give me some time. You know, but you know, with all that said, you know, the movie's pretty good. You know, I'm a little middling on it, but it's definitely not a bad movie. You know, and like I said, all the things that it did differently, it did extremely well. You know, so 4 stars. Count Jackula says, check it out.
Was it 4 stars out of?
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Because 4 stars are very different if it's 4 stars or 5 stars or 10 stars.
Hey man. 4 stars out of how many you care to give it. Go. Bam.
Go. Check it out.
Where can they find you?
You can find me at The Horror Guru on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube. Just look up The Horror Guru and Blood Splattered Cinema, and I'll be there.
And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and of course, I stream every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and every Sunday at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we largely talk about occult and sexuality. So you should, and of course, and horror movies too. Okay. So if you're like, well, I want to hear horror movie stuff, well, fucking come in. You're like, no, I want to hear about like twisted occult sex rituals. Yeah,
sometimes they're all one and the same, you know?
Yeah, very often. Very often. There's a fair degree of overlap. So we hope to see you there. And if you're like, well, how can I support fine entertainment such as you gentlemen are providing? We got that Patreon. I'll put up both mine and Guru's up, and you can donate $1 a month or however much you want. No donation is too small. No donation is too large. Because it's that tax season coming up.
It's true.
We need them bucks.
It's true.
We got to fucking give the government its pound of fucking flesh. Because
we're thoughts.
Because we're thoughts, baby. The fucking president doesn't even have hair. So, you know. Fuck it.